Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So here we are in a midnight Bhagavatam reading.
It looks
midnight.
like it's Photoshop, but we're actually outside.
We are outside, and it's 6:15 in the PM.
Oh dear.
So it's a little late.
Yeah, but we need some fresh air.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to get out and breathe oxygen.
Yeah.
Even in London.
Okay.
All right, so
we are Canto 3, Chapter 22, Text 35. The marriage of Kardama Muni and Devahuti. Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
I've got my glasses on because it's hay fever symptoms, so I get itchy eyes.
So we're getting light from the Bhagavatam.
Oh, literally. Yeah, I just thought I'd share that.
Okay, let's read.
Text 35. Consequently, although his duration of life gradually came to an end, his long life, consisting of a Manvantara era, was not spent in vain, since he ever engaged in hearing, contemplating, writing down, and chanting the pastimes of the Lord. This is Swayambhuva Manu. Purport. As freshly prepared food is very tasteful, but if kept for 3 or 4 hours becomes stale and tasteless, so the existence of material enjoyment can endure as long as life is fresh. But at the fag end of life, everything becomes tasteless and everything appears to be vain and painful. We were just talking about that. That's exactly how I feel. The life of Emperor Swayambhuva Manu, however, was not tasteless. As he grew older, his life remained as fresh as in the beginning because of his continued Krishna consciousness. That's a nice point. The life of a man in Krishna consciousness is always fresh. It is said that the sun rises in the morning and sets in the evening, and its business is to reduce the duration of everyone's life. But the sunrise and sunset cannot diminish the life of one who engages in Krishna consciousness. Swayambhuva Manu's life did not become stale after some time, but he engaged himself always in chanting about and meditating upon Lord Vishnu. He was the greatest yogi because he never wasted his time. It is especially mentioned here, Vishnu Kurvatu Bruvata Kata. When he talked only of Krishna and Vishnu, the personality of Godhead. When he heard something, it was about Krishna. When he meditated, it was upon Krishna and his activities.
So many motorcycles making so much noise, huh?
I hope you can hear us.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It's actually relevant because I've been speaking to a few devotees about this, and in terms of challenges that they may be having or experiencing through other devotees. And the conclusion that we were coming to is, we just need to remember that this process is about hearing and chanting, and I'm not saying it's impersonal, so you don't talk about anything else and don't acknowledge, that life occurs and that. But the point was that when we move away from that simple absorption, whatever we can do in terms of our different duties and lifestyles, we do become crabby and political and down, and it becomes second interest compared to everything else. So it's like going back to the basics, because when we first came, we were more focused because it was all, oh wow, we did this, and slowly it's like you always have to renew your relationship with Krishna. It's like going to I say this to my mentees actually, it's like relationship counselling. Sometimes relationships, they need that, they have to go to counselling, or they have to actually be told, why don't you go out together, why don't you cook a meal, why don't make an effort, basically.
Have a date night.
And so and I always say that, so do that for Krishna. So learn a new dish, and specifically I'm going to offer it, not just my usual cheese sandwich or something, like go to Yamuna Devi's cookbook or whatever, because Krishna sees, she's making an effort for me, and make it a point to read about Krishna and look at him in pictures, basic things, watch stuff about him and that. So continue to relight the fire of your relationship with Krishna, because otherwise it will get dampened. I just want to say that due to the material energy, it will, and then it's all over.
Wow, it's all over. Okay.
That's all I've got to say.
Yeah, it's all over if your relationship, diminishes, because you just sink back into the material energy.
And the old habits, and then we just remain like a, what is it? Like a shadow or something. I'm going to sneeze now.
A riven cloud.
Oh, sorry.
In that place.
Yeah, so Relight the Fire is, I think it's Take That. They did a really popular song back in the day. So, yeah, we need to do that constantly with Krishna. Relight that fire.
Nice. So it is continuing the purport. It is stated that his life was very long, 71 yugas. One yuga is completed in 4,320,000 years. 71 of such yugas is the duration of the life of a Manu. And 14 such Manus come and go in one day of Brahma. For the entire duration of his life, 4,320,000 times 71 years, Manu engaged in Krishna consciousness. That's a long time. I guess he had to relight the fire many, many times.
Well, it says what he did.
Yeah.
Here.
Manu engaged in Krishna consciousness by chanting, hearing, talking about, and meditating upon Krishna. Therefore, his life was not wasted, nor did it become stale. So he was chanting, hearing, talking about, and meditating upon Krishna.
Always kept it fresh.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be, I think we've said this before, in the same, I just need to open a book and read it, I'm so bored. There's different ways you can read, and now, if you're alone or you don't have the Sangha, you can start your own podcast, you can start your own YouTube channel, feel accountable, you could write a blog, you can share things, and it makes you feel, I need to be attentive, I need to do this regularly because I'm becoming accountable and I want to share. Same with the chanting, you can go on retreats. Nowadays, MyPod TV is excellent. You can tune into Japa period at any given time in any different country and just catch up with rounds with other devotees. It's really nice. So it's about, just thinking fresh ways, because you have to keep ahead of the material energy. So don't think what worked then will work now. What worked for me 20 odd years ago, I was in a different situation. I was much younger. As I wasn't married, it's a whole different lifestyle. So it ain't going to work for me now. So you can't use the template from back then and say, why don't it work now? Because the environment and the variables are different. So change your template.
Yeah, there's a famous saying, what got you here won't get you there.
Absolutely.
Text 36.
All right, let's see. He passed his time, which...
finish this chapter.
He passed his time, which lasted 71 cycles of the 4 ages, 71 times 432,000.
No, 4,320,000.
Oh, yeah. What am I doing?
I only read it 3 times.
Always speaking of Vasudev and always engaging matters regarding Vasudev. Thus he transcended the 3 destinations. The 3 destinations are meant for persons who are under the control of the 3 modes of material nature. These destinations are sometimes described as the awakened, dreaming, and unconscious stages. In Bhagavad Gita, the 3 destinations are described as the destinations of persons in the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. It is stated in the Gita that those who are in the mode of goodness are promoted to better living conditions in higher planets, and those who are in the mode of passion remain within this material world on the earth or on heavenly planets, but those who are in the mode of ignorance are degraded to an animal life on planets where life is lower than human. But one who is Krishna conscious is above these 3 modes of material nature. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that anyone who engages in devotional service to the Lord automatically becomes transcendental to the 3 destinations of material nature and is situated in the Brahma Bhuta, or self-realized stage. Although Swayambhuva Manu, the ruler of this material world, appeared to be absorbed in material happiness, he was neither in the mode of goodness nor in the mode of passion or ignorance, but in the transcendental stage.
Yeah, that reminds me, I sent you a quote this morning about Shuddha Sattva. I don't know if you saw it, and did you send it on to your...
Oh, no, yeah, I'll do it. My apologies.
Yeah, you understand why I sent it?
Yes.
So externally it looked like Swayambhuva Manu was just kind of a sense gratifier, but actually he was absorbed in Krishna consciousness and serving Krishna. So like that. Mm-hmm. Therefore, one who fully engages in devotional service is always liberated. Bilvamangala Thakur, a great devotee of the Lord, stated, quote, "If I have unflinching devotion to the lotus feet of Krishna, then Mother Liberation is always engaged in my service. The complete perfection of material enjoyment, religion, and economic development is at my command." End quote. So there you go. People are after dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Generally, they perform religious activities to achieve some material gain, and they engage in material activity for sense gratification. After being frustrated in material sense gratification, who wants to be liberated and become one with the absolute truth? These four principles form the transcendental path for the less intelligent. Those who are actually intelligent engage in Krishna consciousness, not caring for these four principles of the transcendental method. Although in a previous purport it seemed to state that was, a bona fide method, and of course it is a bona fide method. It's just Prabhupada is saying it's for the less intelligent. Those who are actually intelligent engage in Krishna consciousness, not caring for these four principles of the transcendental method. They at once elevate themselves to the transcendental platform, which is above liberation. Liberation is not a very great achievement for a devotee. Yeah, and as I mentioned before, Bilvamangala Thakur says that Mother Liberation, is standing is engaged in his service. So it's not a great achievement for a devotee, to say nothing of the results of ritualistic performances in religion, economic development, or materialistic life of sense gratification. Devotees do not care for these. They are situated always on the transcendental platform of the Brahmabhuta stage of self-realization. Interesting, because the Acharyas explain that Brahmabhuta Prasanatma, this principle of being on the Brahmabhuta stage, is also not pure devotional service. It's kind of just the first stage of understanding the nature of Brahman and being merged into Brahman, but it's the platform by which. So it is transcendental. It's not just a mode of goodness, but it's also not pure, unadulterated devotional service. So there's a distinction there.
Text 37. Therefore, O Vidura, how can persons completely under the shelter of Lord Krishna in devotional service be put into miseries pertaining to the body, the mind, nature, and other men and living creatures? Purport. Every living entity within this material world is always afflicted by some kind of miseries pertaining either to the body, the mind, or natural disturbances. Distresses due to cold in winter and severe heat in summer always inflict miseries on the living entities in this material world. But one who has completely taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord in Krishna consciousness is in the transcendental stage. He is not disturbed by any miseries, either due to the body, the mind, or natural disturbances of summer and winter. He is transcendental to all these miseries. It's true, when you become absorbed and when you're regulated. Regulation is very powerful. I'm speaking from experience and speaking from what I hear from Srila Prabhupada's senior devotees. Regulation is so powerful. So when you're spiritually regulated and otherwise, you can transcend. You can be in situations where it's like, oh, you're...
That's because it's got dark, so now it's like
keyboards
doing its own thing.
But yeah, you can forget. Like, you can look back and think, oh, I'm sailing through this, so I'm not even realizing these issues that before were such a big thing. Because you're immunized, I always feel, through regulated.
Vaccinated.
Yeah, definitely. I get
Well,
that.
let's not talk about
Yeah,
vaccination.
we're not anti-vax when it comes to Krishna consciousness, but we're not anti-vax anyway, just so you know.
Yeah.
Well, let's not get into that.
Okay, text 38. In reply to questions asked by certain stages, he, Swayambhuva Manu, out of compassion for all living entities, taught the diverse sacred duties of men in general and the different varnas and ashrams. Text 39 and the last verse of this chapter, and we'll conclude here. I have spoken to you of the wonderful character of Swayambhuva Manu, the original king, whose reputation is worthy of description. Please hear as I speak of the flourishing of his daughter, Devahuti. And the next chapter, Devahuti's lamentation. Flourishing and lamentation. Okay. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the third canto, 22nd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Marriage of Kardama Muni and Devahuti. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
So thank you all very much for tuning in, watching us in the dark.
Can you see us?
We were now you can. We were illuminated by the light of the Bhagavat. So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
See y'all next time.
See you later.
Don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends, comment. Haribol.
Very well.